In 3, 2, 1. And welcome back to Janky AF and my Janky life. Well, as you can see, snow day for the kiddos today. First real snow of the year. First snow of the year, and it's a doozy. It's really not that bad. But the point is, every year I do the same exact thing. Now this year is particularly bad, but you know, it's late November here now, second half of November, and every year it's really nice weather for longer than I think. And then I think actually every year the longer weather lasts longer, if that makes any sense. So, for instance, this year I worked outside. Usually I work outside till mid-October, and then I try to take a week off from work, get myself in order, do all the things I need to do before winter, and excuse me while I'm distracted here. The shop, just a complete mess. I had like some mice that made a nice home in one of those drawers, so I completely cleaned that out. My janky life is feeling pretty janky right now. This year, we got an exterior project, tight deadline, needed to get done. So at Friday, you know, the eve of the cold weather really starting to come in, I spent that whole week that I was going to be taking off working, which, you know, good problem to have. I'm not complaining about having work. But it doesn't matter. No matter what the circumstance is, every year the same thing happens. And I can't really fault anyone but myself, because if I just took the appropriate measures earlier, then we wouldn't be in this situation. But now I got to get some better footwear if we're going to begin this video. Luckily, you know, the Fiat has nice, reliable storage where it never has to get a drip of water on it. And here's, as you can see, all the Aerostar parts. Janky, thank you for everyone for watching the last couple of videos. We've really been doing great, and it's great to see. Very chaotic, my janky life here. Look at my great shoe graveyard that I pick from time to time. So we're gonna strap on these. Everyone makes fun of me for these boots, speaking of my janky life, but these are like my most waterproof boots I have, and they are quite good in the snow, actually. What an exciting episode today. You get to watch me put on boots. But as you can see there, it is kind of everything, you know, everything's got a lesson in it, right? Like you can see the, replaced laces because the original laces broke, and I keep having to add duct tape to the toe of them there. But boy, these things just keep on trucking. These boots, I walked the entire island of Manhattan in these boots. I walked all the way from Inwood up north there, where you kind of run into Queens there, from Inwood all the way down to Battery Park and the Statue of Liberty in these boots. So that's kind of cool. So, you know, see, there is a little story and everything. But despite my best efforts, everything's trash. But we just keep trying to grow. You know, all these Aerostar parts, that's awesome. We got the Aerostar back together, but there's always collateral damage. Like, I get what I need to get done. But then there's like this wake of jankiness in the, on the tail end of it. I always talk about how good my Aerostar looks when it gets wet. All the clear coat kind of like disappears temporarily. So what I've been trying to do every day. Now the real issue is, here's the issue. You know, obviously once it gets wet like this, they start salting the roads. Not only that, but in order to get these vehicles out, you know, we need to do some shoveling. Now luckily, you know, my driveway is not very long. My driveway is 6 feet long. But still, you know, to get these cars hauled up, I don't want to drive them. Luckily, I do have free towing, which is wonderful, through the Great Haggerty, who are amazing. And these are both having some issues right now anyway, so I feel like I'm kind of justified. This thing has been, again, doing weird sort of like fuel starving issues. Oh God, poor thing. But what I've been trying to do every day is just start them up and run them for a few minutes. This thing, I don't know if it's run, it seems like it's always run rich, but there's like this I don't even think it's white necessarily. You viewers can tell me at home, but it always just like puts out a lot of, starts right up of course, but puts up a lot of exhaust. It actually doesn't look that bad right now. The other day it was just like a plume. Now let's see if the green one will start. The green one, I feel like I'm not running long enough each time. Of course, they both don't have a lot of gas in them. So just yada, yada, yada. You know, I try to practice what I preach, and I try, you know, the jankiness is, yeah, it's like kind of janky, but it's also being resourceful and making the most of what you got. And sometimes, I did put a little fuel in this recently, but I just kind of got caught with my pants down. What can I say? You know, I just not prepared. And then it seems to happen to me every year, and this first snow comes and it's like this giant reality check. And then I did a whole, it'll start. I did a whole series on this, why winter is terrible for cars in upstate New York. Can't imagine this is good for the starter, doing this every single time, but I think it will start eventually. There it goes. Ay, ay, ay. And then the Buick, don't even get me started on the Buick. Now that's, power steering is gone. I did something completely idiotic and like, trying to, you know, in haste, trying to move it out of the way, ran into some of my tools. Seems like it's, that's weird. Seems like it's leaking a little transmission fluid too now. So I think, I hate to say it, I think I'm getting ready to part ways with the Buick, because I just have to keep this consolidation going. And actually, I have so many ideas on what I want to do with this. And like really just the Fiat and Aerostar, I think, is just going to be my thing. That's kind of been my thing. And I would love to have the luxury of like being Jay Leno and just never selling any cars I ever buy. I don't like the idea of cycling through cars. I like to buy a car and then I like that car. I want it forever. But the reality is, if we're going to do anything really cool and put some investment into some of these vehicles and actually have them be reliable and drive them on a regular basis, which eventually I'd like to just totally, I love the Prius, but I would love to, you know, have a daily driver that is sort of like a classic car. But if it's had the drivetrain modernized, then, you know, maybe we can just drive it pretty much all the time. So that's my janky life right now. It's kind of in shambles at the moment, and I have to go to work today, and the snow is just like the ultimate winter reality check. So now moving these vehicles, doing all these things that I could have done, you know, really for the last month, I'm gonna have to do in very suboptimal conditions. I really don't want to drive them on the roads with assault, but even if I just want to get it towed up to $1 million view, now that driveway is going to have snow in it. If you go back and watch my winter is awful for cars in upstate New York, and you see all like there's just like the Sisyphusian toil of just shoveling out places just to try to ram cars in the barn. Ugh, I've done it to myself though. I have no one to blame but myself, despite all the, you know, sort of obligations I'm trying to fulfill for other people. Ultimately, you know, I'm self-employed. I can just say no at a certain point. Look at this. But it's like always done this. But you can see there's like, you know, it's not good. It's not good. I'm sure it's not good. Maybe you experts at home can tell me what the heck is going on. But God, it does look so great. I love this Aerostar. I'll never get rid of this thing. Always wave to the neighbors. So, hey, we're actually going to do a 10-minute episode. That's kind of great. I always go long on these things. And I think we'll actually hit the 10-minute mark. I'm going to shut her down. I just like to start them and run them, you know. What a great looking vehicle. This 5-speed, it smells too. It always smells. And we got our toilets. All these have to be moved too, because if I can't just put them in the car and get it moved like this, you know, I got to wrap these all up so they don't smash all together. So there's just a mountain of work to do. And I just made it exponentially harder on myself with the weather that we knew was coming. I've lived in upstate New York pretty much my whole life. And every year I delude myself into thinking that winter's not going to come. And the weather doesn't do me any favors by sort of like teasing me and being like, oh no, you got more time. And then like overnight, it just changes. It was like 60 degrees on Wednesday and like sunny and beautiful. And now winter's here. All right, well, that's sort of what I signed up for. So we're not going to complain. We're just going to go about our business and get it done this weekend, hopefully. And I think next Tuesday it's supposed to be 46 and rainy, so hopefully that washes everything away. We can get the cars moved where we gotta get them to for winter storage, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, everybody. I got to respond to a mountain of comments, a boatload of comments, it's my pleasure to do so, and I love that I have so many to respond to. So very appreciative of that. And Janky do thank you. I hope everyone out there doing well, taking care of themselves, and you know, looking out for your fellow humans out there. All right, and all that. I was gonna say happy horse crap. I try not to cuss too much on this channel, but that, if you just change the crap to another word, it's a fun phrase to say for some of you out there if you've never heard that one before. So, all right, I'm out of here. I love not being able to end these videos. It's such a microcosm of my personality. I just can't shut up and can't get out of a conversation. And that's why I'm in this situation right here, because I overextend myself. All right, we'll have another one for you very soon. Wow, I'll have another. This has been Janky AF, my Janky life. We'll have another one for you, or some sort of, you know, video thing coming for you very soon. Got to make sure my cars don't run out of gas. And until then, Janky do thank you.